Well, here I am today, just over the border in Oxfordshire, to visit the church in Ashbury. I think I'm approaching it the wrong way. Here we go. St Mary's Church. And the last time I was here, I was just about to enter the church with my son, and I had a text from my brother saying that my mother had died. I haven't been back here since. That was a few months ago. So I thought it'd be quite nice to visit this again as I'm in the area. It's quite interesting how the clock is offset. Clearly it was put in later. Let's see if we can get inside. So the statue of the Madonna and Child above the porch was carved by Mrs. Seton Lloyd in 1952 and erected to the memory of Mrs. Mary McDowell, who worshipped here from 1933 until 1950. You can hear the echo just in the entrance here. Nice detailing above. It was good to see. And we have a red door today. As you can imagine, when I last visited here, having heard the news of my mother, I was much in need of some peace. I remember standing over here, and I was struck with how quiet it was, and just what I needed at that moment. Of course, all things must pass. As it says here, don't worry about anything, but pray for everything. With thankful hearts, offer up your prayers and requests to God. Then because you belong to Jesus Christ, Lord will bless you with peace that no one can completely understand. And this peace will control the way you feel and think. Well, I'm not a particularly religious person, but I'll take the peace if I can get it. It also says, if you have a worry and are feeling burdened, pray about it and give this concern to God. As a symbol of leaving this worry in God's care, you might like to take a pebble and place it on the altar at Jesus' feet. There's a banner here dedicated to St. Hubert. Apparently, I guess that's him. I wonder what he did. He doesn't seem to say what. Still, it's very nice. colourful window. The hunting scene by looks of things. Lord, what wouldst thou have me do? Well, that's the eternal question for everyone, isn't it? I must say, it says you're welcome to use this chapel for quiet prayer. I was particularly struck by the quiet in this area of the church. So something works. The organ. These are interesting wooden candle stands. And here's the view the vicar has. And of heaven above him. Here's a fellow who looks a bit like Mozart. The Reverend Thomas Stock, 1750 to 1803. Wearing the garb of the day, I suppose. Looks almost like a judge. I guess judging your behaviour on earth rather than your deeds as a court judge might. Spiritual behaviour, I guess. A window reflected on the wall. And the view from here. Few brass rubbings for anyone inclined. Let's see what the acoustics are like. Carries nicely. One of the brass ribbons. Some of the woodwork looks Victorian to me. The organ with the foot pedals. locked. Yeah, it's locked. I think. Oh no, it's not locked. Oh, I could pull it up. Not really an organ player. Well, if my heart was heavy the day I learnt of Mum's death, it just shows that time does take away some of the sadness, particular moments in our lives. Picture of the church next to the church standard. This is locked. Seems there's water getting in from somewhere. So there's a hymn I recognise. I've just recently been reading a book about Vaughan Williams, a composer, and he actually, I think he revised the hymns for the church, even though he wasn't religious himself. And one of the ones he did, that has Philip Brooks here, I thought was O Little Town of Bethlehem. So let's give that a go. I'm struggling to find some other ones I know. O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in the dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. O morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises sing to God the King, and peace to all the earth. For Christ is born of Mary, and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wandering love. Here endeth the lesson. Right. Done that. Put the book back. Highlights of the church. So it says, the present building dates from the 12th century, when on the site of the early Saxon church, a Norman church was erected, probably cruciform in plan, with an arless nave having north and south entrances. Almost certainly the arch over the present south door was then at the western end. In the 13th century, the church was enlarged, aisles were set out and the transepts rebuilt, and the building of the tower begun. In the 14th century, the chancel was rebuilt and lengthened, and new windows were added to the transepts. In the 15th century, the aisles were rebuilt. Note the beautiful proportions of the nave columns and arches and the very fine roof timbers. Also, the west window was added, and the north porch built, with its Hampson fan tracery and wall seats. The carved Madonna in the niche over the porch is modern, by Ulrika Seton-Lloyd, a local artist. The stained glass windows to the left on entering were brought from the nearby chapel of Ashdown House, once the residence of the Craven family, and also possibly the site of King Alfred's famous victory over the Danes in 871. Other scholars suggest the site is between East Isley and Streatley. The north transept, originally a chantry, of which the earlier dedication is not known, was dedicated in 1926 to St. Hubert and furnished in memory of Evelyn, Countess of Craven, who, with her husband, was a great supporter of hunting with the old Berks Hunt. He was master 1868 to 1884. The beautiful reredos is the work of Martin Travers. The chancel arch is modern. To the right of the altar is a fine, though mutilated, piscina. On the floor of the chancel is a tombstone to the memory of William Phillips, a royalist churchwarden in the time of Commonwealth. There are 3 interesting brasses, one of which commemorates John de Walden, 1350, and is probably the oldest in the county. The south transept, until it was rebuilt in the 13th century, was the chantry of the Blessed Virgin Mary and is still used as the Lady Chapel. The stone base of the altar and the 13th century piscine still remain. Between the wall and this transept, the arch of the south aisle is an unusual squint or hagioscope, which gave the congregation a view of the altar in the Lady Chapel. Below the south window is a 13th century, I can't pronounce it, cinfoiled arch with a wide recess beneath which was perhaps the burial place of the founder of the chantry. The principal feature of the south aisle is the very fine Norman doorway, a splendid specimen of the work of this period. It must be seen from the outside to note the well-preserved round arch and dog-tooth mouldings. It was possibly brought from the west end when the building of the tower was begun. The door in its present position was blocked in until 1873. See also the old dial mass clock cut into the south wall. The many corbels, both of stone and wood, all round the church are well worth attention. Formerly the organ stood on the north side of the church, obstructing the view of the altar, and in 1946 the organ and the choir stalls were removed, while a heavy modern chancel screen, which was incomplete, was taken down. The main fabric of the tower is of the 13th century, later strengthened and restored. See the winding stairway to the belfry and small lancet window. The belfry contains a peal of 6 bells, one of them provided by the churchwarden William Phillips, whose tombstone is in the chancel, to ring in the restoration of Charles II. In the vestry beneath the tower are some very interesting old tablets recording the terms of office of 18th century churchwardens. In the north aisle is a quite unusual pre-Reformation fireplace, the purpose of which remains obscure. The font is a good example of 15th century work, and nearby will be seen a round-headed doorway leading to a spiral staircase which gives access to another interesting feature, a priest's cell, or San Christi, over the porch. There we go, that's that. Very interesting. Right, let us depart. Have a wander around the exterior. Where the holy bins are kept. These tombs almost, or one of them's almost like a house. See the frost on the ground, crunchy grass. Snowdrops, small snowdrops. Hello, all right. Okay.
My eyes, it's the wind, it makes your eyes.
Yeah, weep a bit, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Can I just go past
Yes, of course you can. Yeah, yeah, I will. Yeah,
please?
I will. Yeah.
Thank you.
These crosses buried in the bottom of the tree. Well, there we have it. That was Ashbury Church for you. St Mary's. See you in the next one. Bye for now.